to be fair, I don't know that a case like this would be brought against Donald Trump, real estate developer, for the same alleged. I mean, who knows? Maybe it would be, but on the other hand, who knows? May be or may not be. Your reaction now that you've had a chance to go through it, is it what you thought it was going to be, and are you unimpressed?
It is what I thought it was going to be in terms of focusing on the payments that were made, the falsification of the records, and really tied to the payment that was made to Stormy Daniels. In terms of a case that's being brought against a former president, it's a little underwhelming. There's not more to it. There's not more violations, tax violations. There's not an incredible new set of facts that we didn't know about publicly. It's really the facts of this case as they have existed for basically almost 7 years.
What do you think of the indictment?
Well, speaking as someone who very strongly does not want Donald Trump to get the Republican presidential nomination, I'm extraordinarily distressed by this document. I think this is even weaker than I feared it would be. And I think it's easily subject to being dismissed or a quick acquittal for Trump. Just speaking, going back to the days when I represented Jim Buckley and Gene McCarthy and the constitutional challenge to the underlying federal statute here passed in 1974, I can say there is no basis in the statutory language to say that Trump's behavior forms either a contribution or an expenditure under federal law, the two key definitions at issue here. If it did, it would mean that every single expenditure a candidate made could be taken to have something to do with his campaign. Do I buy a $1 comb to comb my hair or a $10 comb to comb my hair? If you can construe the statute to cover this behavior, then I think it violates the First Amendment, because you're deeply into territory that makes this statute absolutely, federal statute, too vague for enforcement. And as what I understood the district attorney to say, that he thinks there's a New York election law involved here, all I can say is the Federal Election Campaign Act absolutely preempts any state or local law to the contrary. How could it be otherwise? You've got one law governing corporate finance in a presidential election at the federal level. You're going to have 50 state laws interfering with it. So he's just wrong on the applicability of the New York State.
Daniel Dale is out front now to fact-check those claims that you just heard from Republicans. And Daniel, obviously, George Soros is a longtime supporter of Democratic campaigns. That has been true in case after case. But what can you tell us specifically about the relationship between George Soros and Alvin Bragg?
So there is no sign of a personal relationship between Soros and Bragg. A Soros spokesman told me Soros has never once communicated with Bragg in any way, not in person, not on the phone, not even on Zoom. And Soros did not make any donations to Bragg's 2021 election campaign. Soros did, however, Aaron, play an indirect role in that Bragg campaign by making donations to a PAC, Political Action Committee, that supported Bragg. Now, here are the specifics. Soros is, again, a longtime supporter of criminal justice reform and DA candidates promoting that reform. And his spokesman told me that Soros and an affiliated PAC gave $4 million between 2016 and 2022, including $1 million in May 2021, not specifically earmarked in support of Bragg, but $1 million in May 2021, to a racial justice PAC called Color of Change, which, like Soros, also backs reform-minded DA candidates around the country. Now, Color of Change tells me it ended up spending just over $500,000, so not over $1 million, but just over $500,000 in support of that Bragg.